All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NBA show. It is Tuesday, May 16th, 9:28 Eastern Standard Time AM. And it is a big day because it's the NBA draft lottery. All right. We also have the Lakers Nuggets starting at 8:30 tonight, which I'm a big fan of those 8:30 starts because 10 o'clock here in Eastern Standard Time is not ideal. But the draft lottery is such a great day. It really is. I just realized I didn't put draft lottery in the tags at all. So we're going to throw that on in there. What else do we have going on? Pretty much nothing, man. We're only down to, obviously we're down to just 4 teams now in the NBA playoffs. So you're starting to see, especially once the teams lose. What's up, Chris? How you doing? We're seeing stuff about the Sixers right now. This beard needs to be shaven. You're seeing stuff about the Sixers. You're seeing stuff about pretty much every single team that loses. Obviously, we're seeing a bunch of Warriors stuff right now. So all the speculation is beginning. And we have the draft lottery, and I actually have it up here on the board. I love the draft lottery. Okay, I think what year is it? 2023. So I've been through since making YouTube videos. This will be my third one. I remember last year. I actually believe I was still in the city of Chicago. Anyways, the point is, I've always streamed the draft lottery on this channel and my Rockets channel, and I know my Rocket fans like Chris in here right now are pretty excited as they should be. All these freaking gnats are showing up for some weird reason. No live stream today, which sucks. It'll be like my first time not streaming the draft lottery before, but we'll get a recap. We'll get a reaction video going as soon as that happens. But Detroit, Houston, San Antonio, Cyro was just saying which team, we could talk about which team deserves it more or needs it more. Well, they're all where they're ranked for a good reason. They're all the worst teams in the NBA. So all the people, every player, every team, and every player, and every coach, and every manager, owner wants Victor Wembanyama. I also love Scoot Henderson. We're actually starting to see, I'm beginning to see Brandon Miller get thrown back in at 2. I think that's just more speculation, people just kind of feeling it out. But obviously the best player in college basketball going number 2 is not crazy in the slightest. So for me, as a Houston Rockets supporter, I'm pretty set with any of the top 3 picks. I think Victor Wembanyama, I do think the Houston Rockets will win the draft lottery. I don't know why. I just think it's going to happen. If it's not going to be Houston, I do think it will be the Detroit Pistons. I don't know why. I don't really see San Antonio getting either of the first 2 picks, although Vic and Scoot would both be very cool on those teams. You also have the Hornets in there at 12.5. Going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Portland, I know my Portland fans are excited for this. 10.5 chance to get that first overall pick. Pretty crazy because they have Damian Lillard. Orlando's there at 9%. You have the Indiana Pacers, the Washington Wizards. What is this asterisk here? Denotes different odds due to ties. You also have the Utah Jazz. And then kind of like where you see all the jokes right now are with my Chicago Bulls and then the Dallas Mavericks. Like, oh, could you imagine if the Bulls get number 1, because the Chicago Bears had the worst record in the NFL last season, and the Chicago Blackhawks like last week won their the NHL draft lottery. So both 2 sports, hockey and football, have the number 1 picks either going to or already went to Chicago. The Bears traded away, but the Blackhawks, whenever the NHL draft, will have the number 1 pick. So it's something to keep an eye on, but obviously at 1.8%, it's probably not going to happen. Hopefully we fall 1 or 2 picks. Yeah, definitely hoping for Vic. Definitely would love Scoot. I think Scoot fits what Houston's looking for probably the best. Build a point guard position. I'm curious what a if you see like projected starting lineups everywhere with Houston, if they get number one, you got Vic at the 4, sorry, and then you have Şengün at the 5. That would be super interesting as well. We actually have James Harden talk. See if I can find a picture of him in a Suns jersey. Basically, James Harden had like a bunch of random ass news coming out yesterday. Not random because they just lost. Wow, we found this is we got a nice picture of James Harden in a Suns uniform here. But we saw some stuff. Damn, dude, this beard really needs to be trimmed. Bang. Look at that. James Harden to the Phoenix Suns? I don't see it happening. Basically, I think what's going on right now is James Harden, I think he doesn't want to leave Philadelphia. I think he'll be back with Philadelphia next season. But he's definitely got options now. Having like a super team, quote unquote, with James Harden along with, would DeAndre Ayton probably still be there? It would be very cool. See him team it up again with Kevin Durant, get him teamed up with Devin Booker. I think James Harden on the Phoenix Suns is honestly money. I love the idea of it. Plus, get them all over on the West Coast. Makes the Bulls run a little bit better. We'll talk about the Bulls. Bulls had some stuff. We'll actually talk about that later on. But basically, James Harden could go to Phoenix or he could go back to Houston. I think he's leveraging both of those teams to get what he wants to be paid in Philly. Philly can offer him the most, right? Any team, if he were to decline his free or his player option and enter unrestricted free agency, James Harden, basically his money would come around to about $210 million over, I think, just 4 years. So he'll be 34 this summer. By the start of next season, James Harden will be 34. I want to just definitely fact check that, but I'm almost 100% positive. So you're paying, August 26th, he turns 34 years old. Well, that's a late birthday. I'm all set. I'm definitely all set. The initial report was James Harden is going to see what Philadelphia does with Doc Rivers, and then he'll go from there. I don't know what that means. I don't know if James Harden wants to be with Doc Rivers. I don't know if he doesn't want Doc Rivers. I don't know what's going on there. But then you saw, okay, well, the Phoenix Suns and James Harden could be linked here. I think that's perfect. And then obviously you have Houston there. I really think Harden to Houston, I really think it's just pretty much being leveraged for money. I don't think that he will be back with the Houston Rockets. And I actually think that is in the Rockets' best interest. I mean, if James Harden still wants to be paid like a max player, man, and there's going to be teams like Philly who are going to pay him. And I know Houston could pay him, and I know we can give him a max contract this offseason, and I know that we still will have some leftover money. But I don't know why we would want a 34-year-old James Harden on our basketball team unless we were ready to win. I mean, he's going to give thousands of reps, taking away thousands of reps to our younger talent. So I think if you got to make some moves to take that jump. I don't think James Harden's the pick for Houston to take that jump. But I did find it interesting of possible rumors to a Phoenix linkage. We have some Bulls news here. Ooh, suggested trade sees Bulls ditch Lonzo Ball for $41 million forward. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Gordon Hayward. That's going to be my guess. It is Gordon Hayward. Okay. Well, let's just find a picture of the Chicago Bulls. Basically, I saw a report on Twitter saying the Bulls front office is split down the middle. Maybe not down the middle. Bulls front office is split, saying, we want to keep this going. Let's just get Lonzo back. And then the other part is like, well, we were just the 10th seed in the East, so let's not do that and let's make some moves. What's up, Nandit? Hope you're doing good, man. So for me personally, I think it's obvious the Chicago Bulls should. You don't have to entirely blow it up. I think I saw a possible trade of Vucevic and Zach LaVine for Jaylen Brown. And I'm really curious what a Celtic fan, I'm really curious what Luke would have to say about a trade like that. Well, I don't even know if Boston would be interested in a move of sorts, but I actually, Vucevic in Boston, I think that works perfectly. I think a lot of what Boston decides to do is going to be dependent on specifically this series right here. I mean, if they lose to the Miami Heat, to be honest with you, I think if they lose to the Miami Heat in any regard, I think some bigger changes will be coming for Boston. But if they have the same finish last year, like losing 6 in the NBA Finals, to the Nuggets or the Lakers, we'll probably just continue to see roster tweaks. Guys like Malcolm Brogdon, who was a great pickup last offseason. Was Brogdon the trade deadline? Well, of course, I can't remember that. So Jaylen Brown as well is he's not a free agent. So he would have to demand a trade in order to not go back with Boston. But long term, will Jaylen Brown re-sign with the Boston Celtics? I probably doubt it. Could you imagine if they just decide they need one more, like DeMar and Harden? Well, that's the report is, James Harden. And that's what I try to tell Rock fans too. James Harden will be bringing a star wherever he goes to next. So, DeMar and Harden to Orlando, that would be pretty cool. I know somebody on this show who wouldn't be too upset with that. Honestly, what are some stuff to talk about in today? Any we'll throw it out to the viewers. Shout out to Chris and Andy for watching this one today. I don't know what people are talking about, honestly. Go some Lakers Nuggets talk. Kind of sound like a broken record at this point. So yeah, the Nuggets are the favorite, right? As the 1 seed. And that's not the screen. Let's see. There we go. LeBron James. I was actually just watching ESPN today. Oh, jeez, that hurt. I was just watching ESPN because I wanted to see what people were talking about today because there's not much sports going on in general. I would say like 60% of people have the Denver Nuggets advancing, and it's for a very good reason. You have the best player, people are saying, in the world, Nikola Jokic. As Nandit's saying right here, Jokic, best player in the world. That's exactly what you just said. And, a great supporting cast. Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Brown, Green, Pope. Nuggets are a great team. So are the Lakers. I don't believe the Nuggets and Lakers have played each other since the Lakers roster turnover. So that's something to note. Jokic did point that out. It's going to be a completely different team. Keep in mind, and this is the kicker here, the Denver Nuggets at home are almost unbeatable. Like, you almost can't beat. I want to say they're 35-6, but that might be too aggressive. I'm going to say they're 33-8 or 35-6 at home. We got it right here, 34-7. So they're 34-7 at home. Well, the Lakers, you're going to have to win one on the road. And something interesting of note is the Golden State Warriors, although they were 11-30 in the regular season on the road, they were 33-8 at home. So pretty much just one game worse than the Denver Nuggets at home. So that's why that isn't really crazy to me. I know there is altitude. Playing in Denver isn't easy, and it's a huge advantage for those that do play in Denver, for the Denver Nuggets players. But if the Lakers. One thing to Nandit's credit here, and to all the Nuggets pickers, are LeBron in game 1 usually doesn't do anything crazy. Like, he's usually letting the game come to him, right? Start learning, start picking up on things, acclimate, get your teammates involved. And game ones historically for LeBron have never been all that crazy. So that's not great from the Lakers standpoint because it's like, all right, well, if we're not going to win a game one, now we're down 1-0, and we're still going to have to win a game in Denver. So that means game two is pretty big freaking deal because ideally what happens is if you're the Lakers and you're a Lakers fan, I want to win game one, okay? Let the Nuggets come out, make their adjustments. Nuggets take game two. We're 1-1. You head back home. You win the next two. You're up 3-1. Just like past series for the Lakers, you play the Nuggets, game 5 in Denver. Denver wins it. You kind of not rest, but LeBron in the last series, not going crazy. You're not going balls to the wall. People are saying, oh, now the momentum has shifted. And then you head back home to Los Angeles in game 6 and you pick it up there. They have to manage non-Jokic minutes. Somebody, that's the thing here, man, is, there will be games Aaron Gordon will drop 25. There will be games where KCP drops 20 or Jamal Murray drops 30, or there's basically a bunch of options. I'm trying to get a gauge here at what do you think we're going to see from Jokic tonight? High 30s, assuming so. Are we going to get into the 40s? Why is Stat Muse pay now? Why do you have to pay? Pay. All right, we'll probably see 40s against Phoenix. Keep in mind, this team hasn't played since last Thursday. There might be a little bit of rust, actually. There might be just a handful of rust from that Denver Nuggets team at the start. 41 minutes, game 1 against Phoenix. 42, game 2, and let's see, averaging 38 minutes per game. And keep in mind they played Minnesota in the first round. Not too tricky there. To the Lakers' credit, who has Jokic gone up against in the playoffs? Well, he has gone up against Cat. Cat's not the best defender. He has gone up against Rudy Gobert, who I think Rudy Gobert is still a very, very great defender. And then DeAndre Ayton, who, when he's trying, is a pretty solid defender as well. We've seen DeAndre. How does he say it? Domination. But none of those players are Anthony Davis because of the offensive threat. But I haven't really been a huge fan of that. Who has Jokic played in this playoffs? I'm like, well, actually, he's played some pretty good freaking big men. But we all know the big matchup, AD versus Jokic. I'm not as, I really think the refs want this to happen. I saw a tweet. Nuggets Heat, I'd totally watch the Nuggets Heat. I don't think too many casual basketball fans are going to be watching Nuggets Heat. Nuggets Celtics is not that bad. I think my dad actually wants the Nuggets Celtics, and I'm a big Lakers fan. But Lakers Celtics, it's just a storybook. It's literally storybook. But if it was actually rigged, they'll drag it out. So we'll get a good series. I don't think it'll be that rigged. But we'll see, man. Referees are interesting. And so one of the reasons why the Lakers get so many free throw calls is because they're the aggressive team. The Lakers are constantly being aggressive. The new look Lakers are constantly being aggressive, and they're constantly driving to the rim. They're constantly attacking the rim. Anthony Davis is constantly in the paint. LeBron doing his thing. Austin Reeves, they just like to attack a lot. And so refs typically are going to reward the aggressive team. I mean, this is what always pisses me off if I was a Warriors fan, or who are great examples of this that are currently in the playoffs. Honestly, LeBron and the Lakers are pretty guilty of this. Jokic, I think, is guilty of this. Who was it in the last round? The 76ers are extremely guilty of this. Or if you don't get a call and then you sit there and you complain to the ref. Well, if you're just imagine being a referee and have one team that's just constantly attacking, constantly aggressive. They're putting their head down, getting to the rim. Even if there's a foul call, they're not blowing up your ear. And then the other team is getting pissed off at you every non-call because they want you to call if you get tapped on the shoulder. Well, by the end of the game, by the end of the series, I'm not saying the refs are going to be biased here, but like, you got to go with the flow of the game. So I've never been a huge fan of all the complaints that some of these guys get into the ref's ear right after it, where it's like, all right, if it's blatant, if it's an important missed call, I understand it, but I just don't think it's the best way to go about relationships. Now, if you're LeBron James, you've been in the league for 20 years, you know all these refs, and they all know you. Jokic foul trouble. I'm not really feeling foul trouble from Jokic in this series here. Jokic averaged 2.8 personal fouls per game against the Phoenix Suns. We'll see, though. I'm sure it'll come up, a game or two. Data doesn't back up the drives and aggressiveness to amount of fouls. No, it's more so just being on the ref's good side. I can't think of a better word. Good side might be the best word here. Basically, like if I'm complaining to you all game about not calling anything or not calling what I want you to call, the other team is putting their head down, attacking, getting aggressive. They're not complaining. They're not bitching and moaning to you every missed call or whenever they want to call. But the other team is. I just, and that's not a thing in this specific series. I'm just using like guys like Joel Embiid for an example. My Zach LaVine pisses me off so much on this. There's so many possessions where this dude doesn't even get back on defense. He's just sitting there giving the ref an earful, and it's like, well, dude, get back on defense. Now, he's just less likely to give you a call on the next time that it happens. Okay. LeBron is averaging least drives in his career and yet receiving more free throws. AD has been aggressive. They can't hide anymore when the refs take over, especially first quarter, 2 fouls. So we got Andy's prediction down here. Let me know. We got 4 people in here. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this playoff series. Can anybody hear that? Apparently they're doing roof work today, which isn't great. I don't think this window here is that soundproof. Because I was working here yesterday and somebody walked by and I heard them cough. I'm like, wow, that was like really clear. But yeah, everybody drop it down below. What's happening in this series? I could talk about this all day, so let's try it. The bench players are going to be huge, man. They're just going to be so huge. LeBron James had a great game 6 against the Golden State Warriors. I mean, it was a phenomenal game. But there's going to be games where AD and LeBron, and I think it's going to happen tonight. Well, I don't think LeBron is going to do anything crazy here tonight. Now, he might because it's the Western Conference Finals, and this is what he's been saving his tank. He's been saving his gas for this round or for these last 2 rounds. Let's finish it up. I'm rested. I'm healthy. Let's finish it up. Let's start off strong. I'm not saying LeBron won't have a good game, but I don't think LeBron's going to be driving 6 times in the first quarter. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope AD does it as well. I don't think foul calling will be too crazy today. I think I don't think the NBA is fully rigged. I don't want to believe it is rigged, and I don't want to believe that they will rig these 2 series to get Lakers versus Celtics. So I don't really even know what to say on the refs, but I hope refs aren't very prevalent tonight. What's up, Mr. 81? I hope Charlotte gets Victor. Man, let's talk really quickly about the Charlotte freaking Hornets. I like this team. I really do. I like what they're building, and I know it sounds pretty crazy. I don't think the Charlotte Hornets are that freaking bad, man. Now, are they a championship team? Not even close. They're literally not even close to being a championship team. So then you can say, all right, well, that's why, what are they doing here? When was the last time they got into the playoffs? Blah, blah, blah. Weren't they just in the play-in tournament a couple of years ago? I would check on StatMuse, but am I about to pay for StatMuse each month? It just feels lame. Let's see if we could get a better We'll go Joel here. Just I always feel shitty putting this one on, but we're going to do it. LeBron's averaging 7 drives per game. Hornets need Wemby plus Jordan needs to go to survive. Wow, you want Jordan gone. I don't want the GOAT gone. But what's a good site for this real GM? Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington Jr., right? Those are the two decisions that they have to make this year. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is this free agency class is really, really not great. Miles Bridges expected to re-sign with the Hornets. I hate to say it. I think that's pretty big. I'll try and stay away from the legal side of this. I don't really know what's going on with that Miles Bridges situation. I don't really need to know. But if they have Miles Bridges back next season, that's a pretty big deal. That's at least very nice. But I don't think they necessarily need Wembanyama. I think top 5 pick, still a top 5 pick. Hopefully they can get it. But we'll see. We'll see with it. That Gordon Hayward contract's terrible, but I really like pieces like Mark Williams and Nick Richards. I think those guys are the truth. So I really don't think that they desperately need Victor Wembanyama. Hornets 12.5% to get the number 1 pick. Yep, what are they? Number 4. They're number 4. So who knows, man? We'll know soon. All right, guys. I think we might just end it there. People were possibly going to come on today, but nobody did. And it was nice. It was nice. I appreciate you guys coming in. I'll hop in a little, finish up packaging. So, yeah, these guys are heading out to Chicago today. And, they'll be live from Chicago tomorrow, and we'll probably do this, or we'll definitely do this tomorrow morning. But hopefully we have some good news for the Rockets. And hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll all see you tomorrow.